Okay, I think it's streaming now. Okay. So what I am about to do today, Vandahiri, as you can see my agenda right here. Let me just push it into my first window. I'm using aerospace, by the way, and for some reason my mobile is ringing, but yeah, it doesn't matter. So first of all, what we're trying to do is the main motivation behind this stream is to streamline my understanding, or let's say I want to go into the core part of programming, right? You have this skill of being able to inherently speak about what you are thinking and trying to make someone explain. I think it's a very hard job, right? And I have to deliberately do this kind of exercise in order to make myself better, or to make myself succinct, to make like to cover the points across the table. So this is this little experiment that I'm doing, nothing else. So this is, I think, first day that I'm trying to do this, and nothing else. I'll be doing some company work itself. It's an open source project. Like, let me just go to google.com and create this in the third workspace. Okay, third workspace has been taken. Let me just do it in the second workspace then. So I'll be doing some company stuff. The project that I'm working on is, or at least the thing that I'm working on is Strata. And main thing is I have to look through the pull requests. I think 2 of them just got merged. Okay, 9 hours ago. So this is the thing that I have been working on. It's been 2 days, I guess. I have to make some changes here, and then there is also another PR that's pending right now. There are some comments that I need to resolve, so that should complete this thing, these 2 things. And then after I finish this, if I get the chance to finish this, I'll look into ESP32 Risk book 2. So the book that I'm talking about is I don't know exactly, I think it's in the finder. Let's just search for it. What was it about? ESP, just search it, and I think I forgot how to do this, like .pdf. Yeah, this is the book that I'm looking for. I wanted to like experiment and do the first advent of code stuff in ESP32, and if my camera is working, then I have this riscv awesome ESP32 C6, right? It's beautiful microcontroller. I'll be using like experimenting with that too. So without any delay, let's get started on stuff I'm trying to do. Okay, I have to pause for a second then. What should I do? Azur. Earbuds. के भयो yeah, minor distraction there, but nothing too serious. Let's get into the zone again. Yeah, so Strata, I've been working there, and just check the status. I've been working on reveal src lib.rs. So grids. I think I can go to transaction and get it right here. Just open the Slack also, and let's go through the various questions were asked to one of the co-worker, and he has given me some suggestions regarding how to like split the grids. He's talking if how I can split the grids, because currently the BTCI grid that we have right now, it's not organized enough. Stuff are not falling into place. They are like jumbled, and at least it's for a first time user, if someone sees and looks through our code base, they'll have a little bit of hard time in navigating and finding out various things. So BTCIO is the one that I have. It's actually the part of BTCIO, which means Bitcoin input output, and especially it's part of the writer, but currently it's in transaction and lib.rs, which I have parser, builder, and visitor. So I've been working on visitor part. What I need to do, my current goal is I have this parser, right, which goes through envelope. What's an envelope? In simple terms, you can think of envelope as collection of, or let's say it's collection of vector of U8, right? It's vector of U8. What you can think is envelope is a part of a transaction, a Bitcoin transaction, right? It's part of a real transaction where you are like inscribing something into Bitcoin. Inscription, what does it mean? You can think of inscription as writing something into Bitcoin. You might have heard about the Ordinals project, right? It's a very shitty project. I wouldn't say shitty, but basically it violates, or let's say the very ethos of Bitcoin was not to inscribe images on Bitcoin, right? But it's something similar to that. It's commit reveal transaction, and you can actually store anything on Bitcoin given the stack size and the depth and the maximum size of the block. There are some constraints on that side, but basically within those constraints, you can store anything, and they have something called inscription transaction, right? But we are not following the inscription part. We have this something similar to that, and we are using it for two things. One is checkpoint, and another is envelope. Sorry, not envelope, DA. So DA means data availability layer. Why do you want a data availability layer? You can think of it like this. You want a data availability layer because you are essentially using Bitcoin as a layer one thing, or you can think of it as a ground source of truth, and you have to inscribe stuff into that such that even if something or someone goes malicious, you can still trust the very basis of the ground truth. Whatever you have on Bitcoin, it cannot be changed, right? The protocol doesn't give you this ability to change unless you have this 51% or more computing power, and which is very hard to attain, and this makes it very stable. And proof of work, it's very beautiful, right? um, because of that constraint, what you can do is now you can like have multiple things running on top of Bitcoin, or using Bitcoin as what do you say, a DA layer. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to do essentially, and envelope is part of that thing. And so we have this envelope data. Let's first understand what I'm trying to do. So I need some way, because we also need to create proofs, right? We are not actually posting everything into Bitcoin, the state changes and things like that. Actually, we have to post that, or let's say write into that Bitcoin But more importantly, we also need the proof that whatever state changes that had happened, uh, whatever are our all the variables within our system, we need to make sure that those things are correct, or let's say the state changes between those interactions were correct and verifiable. For that, we have to use something called zero knowledge proof, right? And we have various kind of proofs like Stark, Snark, stuff like that. But we are using actually zkVM layer. So when I need to pass something to our this zkVM layer, what's a zkVM layer? You can think of it as a computer, right? It's essentially a virtual machine. What it does is you write some Rust code or any like any programming language you can choose, and essentially you boil it down to some LLVM form, and you convert it into a riscv ISA, something related to that. It's not exactly as simple as that, but what you do is you convert it into riscv ISA, and you have this machine, virtual machine, right? And anything like execution trace, like you have program counters, you have registers, and those assembly code, you run it one by one, and you have these state changes, or the trace, execution trace, which you like take note of. And once you take note of those things, you arithmetize, or what you do is you convert it into some sort of mathematical expression, right? And once you do that, you have various things like R1CS and stuff like that, which you can use. Like I'm trying to like scheme over the hard things, or let's say things are body for me too on that side, and how it actually works. But it's quite simple once you understand the core protocol. So what I do is they arithmetize and convert into mathematical um, problem, and that mathematical problem, or let's say expression, or let's say it's actually a equation, big huge equation, which you can do is, what you can do is you can create a proof for that. And that proof requires some input, right? And then there are private inputs, some public inputs, and you can verify that. After you get the proof, you can, anyone can verify whatever that proof accompanies, or let's say that proof covers, is essentially correct. And it's going to be a like ground source of truth, unless like someone finds a way to um, maybe break discrete logarithm problem, or they find some fault within the algorithms and methods used within the system, like proof system itself, right? So I think I have covered myself over this fact. This is my understanding. There are very like you can go deeper about this thing too. So but I don't want to go deeper into that side. What I want to do is I want to get into this thing ASAP, and I want to complete this. So what I have to do is I have to look into this, what it does. It doesn't own the chunk it contains. Envelope payload owns it. So first thing is I have to make changes on bundle payload. So let me just search for bundle payload. This is bundle commitment, bundle payload. Okay, there's bundle payload intent. I think I can go through this, and we have this bundle spec, and there is this bundle commitment. Essentially we don't want bundle commitment at all. My end goal will be to remove this and have a visitor pattern such that there are two code paths, two paths to achieve either a commitment, like vector of commitments. Commitments means hash of the data we are going to post, or we might also want because we have to store the data to like recreate or replay the things happening over our system too, right? The client has to essentially, there might be a scenario where it might have to like replay the stuff present in the system in order to like get into one state to another state. Or there might be some scenario where there might be a fork, and we might be on the wrong fork, and we might essentially need to revert it, or and again, um, like choose that fork again, and get to that point. And at that point we need some concrete data, right? So if our database stores everything, like it has to store all the bytes, the client has to store all the bytes, and the proof, the input it requires, it doesn't require the whole thing. It just requires what? It requires vector of commitments, or you can think of it as, it just requires a hash. So once we visit the envelope, we have this parser, right? Which we just saw. Just go to parser.rs, which we have, right? We have envelope parser, and you don't need to like get into the specifics of how this parsing happens, or let's say the structure of the envelope itself. It's quite simple actually. You have this unique identifier on top, and we use that unique identifier to identify this is the transaction that's interesting to us, and then pass around the system, and it eventually gets to this point, and what we get is vector of envelope data right now. But we don't want to we don't want that. What we want is, if somebody is parsing script for envelope, they will pass the script. That's fine, right? They can pass script, a script buff. They'll pass the tags, and they will also pass the visitor at the end, such that the result is not a vector of envelope data, but we want a result to be impl of some kind of trait. So at the end, that's our goal, and I'll start working on it. We have this DA visitor right now, right? Our visitor, it will visit the envelope chunks, and it takes tag as a parameter, and also chunks. Chunks is nothing but impl of iterator. What kind of iterator it is? It takes a reference to bunch of or collection of U8s. What is U8? U8 can be, you can think of it as a single byte, right? It's a collection of bytes. It's a reference of collection of the bytes actually. And we have this DA commitment visitor. It requires so as I said, if we just require hash, then we use this commitment visitor. But if we want everything, right, vector of U8, then at that point we use extractor. This is what our client will be using, and this is what our commitment, this is what our what do you say, proof system, or the input to the proof will be. So first off, let's work on DA commitment visitor. It's quite easy to understand. We have envelope payload chunks, right? We have tag, we have chunks, and we want to implement something for this. We want to implement visitor for this. So we are getting chunks, and we are getting tags at the end goal, and the end goal will be the DA commitment visitor to have this structure filled, or let's say this structure needs to be completed. We are not we are using mute self, which means what I can do, self dot tag is equals to tag to string, right? And once I do that, I want to figure out what to do with commitments. Commitments is quite easy. I need to hash it. So let's go through all the chunks. So what I'm going to do, chunks dot map, since it's an iterator, we get a function. We need to provide a function, right? It's a closure function, you can think of it like that. And the parameter argument would be the indexed element, or the element itself among the iterator. So my item would be chunk itself. What I want to do with chunk is hash raw. I want to hash it, and what it takes is chunks itself, and hash raw, what it gives me buff30 to type, and I have to return something here, right? But why is it saying that? Okay, I have to pass chunk, not the chunks. So once I do that, still showing the error, but expected unit type that, but let's just get here, like let my hashes are something like this. I can think of a better name later. हजुर माथि नै छ हौ, अघि नै माथि मम्मीलाई सोध्न। ए तँ अनि ऊ चक्लेट बनाला दुध तताएर किचन खाली बोला नि त। So self.tag requires not a string, it requires payload type tag, and converting into payload type tag might actually be easy. Have I implemented something for this? IMPL. I should have implemented something, but I think it's in the RPC part. And if I already figure out what to do, then just type tag. I can figure this out upfront, right? Why do I need to like and I think I have what I've done is it's already copy and clone, so I don't need to think about references. So hashes, what we have is now we get buff32 and we want to collect it. Hash raw, and what's payload commitment like? Payload commitment can be created from this, so payload commitment new hash raw, something like this. And then I made some mistake here, and I can do this. So we have payload commitment, and I can just collect it instead of using like that. Self dot commitments is chunks map payload commitment new hash raw and collect. I think this serves properly for the visitor. Now I can just copy this and paste it, and I can make changes for extractor visitor, and essentially the commitment part would be gone, and I would require payloads right here. And chunks map what? I don't want payload commitments, but I could instead just collect as far as I know, because we already have reference. Oh, I think I can do copied and collect, something like this. Okay, first off, what I can do is so for each thing, for each of the chunk, I wanna just chunk dot collect pick u8 and let it collect it, something like this. Can I do that? This requires into iter. Why does it require into iter first? Chunk, okay, into iter. dot copied, something like this. I think there is better way to do this. Let me think about it first. I can convert. First, it requires into iter. Why does it require into iter? It requires into iter because it doesn't want the data. No, I think it should work fine. Why is it complaining about this? Yeah, into iter doesn't make sense. Essentially, you have iter, into iter, and iter mute, and this all serve different purpose. Like for this thing, iter makes perfectly sense. Into iter doesn't make. Like if you look into iter itself, what it does is what is it giving? Let me just go ahead and check it out. It's providing me with iter itself, and there's a lifetime dash a. It's not dash, it's what is it called? Not colon, but apostrophe, which means tick. Not exactly tick. What do you call it? I forgot it. It doesn't even matter. Dash a, and then there is this generic type t. And what about iter? Iter does something like okay, the lifetime is anonymous now. Okay, for into iter it requires self. Okay, so it exactly consumes it. Since it requires self, it consumes it completely, and iter just requires a reference, as you can see, dash self or and self, which is the reference to self, right? एकछिनमा ढोका जाऊ ल। म 12-1 बजीतिर। किन?
भनेपछि म 10 बजे आउँछु है त।
ल
सानो आउँछु। पछुतो पनि त भोलि बिहान जानुहुन्छ।
ल ल ल भोलि किन जान्छौ त्यही पनि तिमी?
किन?
चिनमा जाऊ न, भोलि किन जानु पर्यो त दिने पछि? के यो एकदम चलिरहेको छ हो अहिले क्लास?
क्लास
राम्रो चलिरहेको छ हो?
क्लास चाहिँ राम्रो चल्ने भने त हैन।
अनि किन त्यो हतार गरेर?
माथमा बक्तपुरमा।
अनि ढिला गइदेऊ नि त, अनि के हो त? ढिला गइदेऊ नि त अनि। भनेको त्यो मलाई पिएको क्लास के काम?
जबरजस्ती हाल्दै म घर पढ्न त घर नै पढिरहेको छु हैन। तर लाइक मलाई साँच्चै हेल्पफुल भएको भनेको चाहिँ त्यो पिए डिजिटल्समा त्यो भिडियो रेकर्डेड भिडियो हुन्छ नि, त्यो चाहिँ मलाई हेल्पफुल भएको छ। लाइक ठ्याक्क
हतार गर्दै बिहानै किन जान्छौ? एक दिन त गर न, रेस्ट गर न, किन गरिछौ? यता आएको छौ, अब सुतेरै जाऊ न 8 बजीतिर।
होइन फेरि गएन भनेर नि त्यहाँबाट गइरहेछ भनेर मलाई बित्थामा भोलि रातभरि किस्ता हुन्छ।
कसले हौ?
खाने बेला बिनाजीले।
अनि कसले भन्छ त अनि? कसले भनिदिन्छ त?
यताउति सोधिहाल्नुहुन्छ नि त।
कसो सोध्नु न?
हजुर
सोध्नु न। त्यस्तो नोजी हुनुहुन्न क्या। तिमी चिनमा बस न।
तपाईँलाई कलेज ल्याइदिन्छु तपाईँको आमाको सम त्यो दिनु न, त्यो मिराकीको
ढोका लाएर जा है। जा पानी ल्याइदियो ल मलाई। ए गिलास ल्याइदियो है, राख्यौँ। ग्लास ल्याइदियो ल, गिलास।
चक्लेट होइन,
हट चक्लेटबाट पनि ल्याइदियो, अनि अर्को एउटा पनि ल्याइदिएन। तातो पानी खानु लागि ल, हाल न त। यो तातो पानी छैन, यो चिसो तातो बनाइदियो ल। झिकेको रहन्छ कसले? ए कसैलाई नि? ए ढोका लाएर जाऊ। ढोका लो। मैले त्यो अस्ति गिफ्ट दिएको पो त
कसलाई
सपिन दाले
हँ
सपिन दाले
ए के बनाएर दिनुभएको गिफ्ट म नि उ गर्नुपर्ने छ अब के अरे ए यहाँ साथीले ल्यापटप लिएर आउनु पर्ने छ बिर्सेछु नि त छिमेकीको भयो सबैको पासपोर्ट नि मेरो काबुमा राख्नुपर्ने छ कति दिन आउनु भयो त बनाउनलाई
2 दिन
नयाँ भएको हो नयाँ भएको यो हो कि 3 विन्टरको प्लास्टिक
होइन पुरानै हो ढोका लाऊ अब मैले धेरै क्वेसन सोध्यो तिमीले ल जाऊ ओके continuing on that what was I talking about? I was working on this part. So I visit envelope below chunks. I think this is okay. I can make this a bit better, I guess. How can I make this a bit better? What I can do is just think about it for a second. I have done iter, then I've copied, then I've collected. Instead of copying, is there any way what should I copy? Copying means the reference is being copied over because copying is cheap for U8, right? It's byte level, stack level, and collecting it, I have collected it to vector of U8. Do I actually need to copy? Just think about it for a second. Yeah, I didn't even need to. Okay, what is it saying? It's giving me U8. Yeah, I need to copy actually. Okay, I can also do something like this. dt dot, not dt dot, but dt dot. Can I do something like this, which would be actually succinct to vector? Okay, I can do vector to vector actually. All those jumps that I had to do essentially is pointless because we already have this API. Okay, visitor pattern, I think this is done. I need to make some changes here. Let me just open it right here, and there's this checkpoint tag script, which means I also need a visitor. Visitor is something like DA visitor itself. Okay, and I can't just do that, right? I have to something that impose DA visitor lifetimes dash a. Oh, why am I forcing it? I can't force, right? Anonymous lifetime in what was that? I could do something like this. Let me just check other things. Do this, I do this, and IMPL. I should be able to do that, right? I have been doing that. Not me. The tree does that. Impl L to header. L to header itself is a trait. Yeah. Something like this. Why is it so anonymous lifetime in input traits are unstable? So lifetime traits in what was it about? Anonymous lifetime traits are unstable. For the your add child method requires bonus. Okay, matching your lifetimes. Okay. Can I do dash p? Just provide the lifetime right like this. It's not anonymous anymore, right? Why is it saying that now? Feature anonymous lifetime integrate. No, I don't want to do that. Why is it still showing the error? Maybe I need to close it again and I can just go to crates, then transaction fields or not. We will try parser. Just dash b. Parse script. Okay. Okay, this is working now. But can I match it with A? Just remove B. It's no longer anonymous. Cargo check. Just look into this. Expected named lifetime parameter. Oh, yeah. That's what I have to do. Because DA visit itself requires dash T, right? We got that. And how can we like ensure that this lives as long as script lives? It might actually leave more than that, right? So there is no harm in adding additional lifetime. And visitor for this, what does it do? As far as I know, it requires it to be mutable too. Dash b, something like this. Yeah, got it. We have it. The visitor is now with a different lifetime, and we are passing it to parse envelope. So parse envelope, it also needs visitor because the real parsing happens here. Could just go to 20. Where was it? 4K YY and just go to 19. Paste it right here and pass it here, and then again this is for the d tag, this is for instructions. Dash d later I can like think about optimizing this, but right now let's pass a d for this. Okay, since okay, I don't think I require mutable form of this thing. Why don't I require mutable form of this thing? Just open right here and it's going to be understandable, because decommitment visitor, oh no, I require a mutable form anyways. Okay, that means visitor goes once, it has to enter there to there. I enter the envelope, right? I enter the envelope and then I push for every envelope that I enter. I push something right there, right? But what I can do is, okay, I can completely avoid this part, which means the parsing will happen as supposed, right? It will happen as supposed. At the end, I'm getting an envelope data, right? Why do I require an envelope data? No, I don't require an envelope data. What I require is tag and batch data. What's an envelope data itself? Envelope data is vector. This is exactly the format that I require. That means I don't even require a vector for this. What I can do is impl iterator. This is not the correct word, right? Impl iterator. Why am I fumbling over iterator spelling? Iterator, and item is something like this. Yeah. Left empty is not used. Item is something like this. Impl iterator. But this cannot happen in struct, right? Struct requires like whenever I'm impelling something over this has to be inferred in runtime, or I'm just essentially not leaving it to does it have to be inferred in like runtime for this? I don't think so, because envelope data is there, right? You have a tag and you have chunk, which means once I pass dot iter, then it is going to implement that. But still, this shouldn't be the correct format. How can I be so sure about this? Let me just think about it once again. So T is never used. Cargo check. So unused lifetime parameter, consider removing -t referring into the field. So phantom data bana bhane. So okay, because it's part of the item itself. Okay, it's part of the item itself. I don't need to define that. Okay, that's understandable. Visitor wala though, that's warning is. But why is it saying it's an unused lifetime parameter? Let's just ask ChatGPT for this. ChatGPT, or let's try something else. What should I try? Cloudy. Let's try Cloudy. Cool. Pagal. Preferences. Okay. Cool. Continue. के भयो? What's happening? Maybe ChatGPT should have been a good option then. I already have ChatGPT anyways. New chat, and let me just close the sidebar. Now I can think about this. Why is this -t lifetime parameter not used? Simply because the implementer is okay. Produced by the iterator must be references to UH slices that live at least as long as -t lifetime. Exactly right. This ties the chunks field to T lifetime. Chunk iterator. -t. Struct guarantees the validity of the slice reference by iterator for as long as the struct exists within the T lifetime. Chunks field. This would mean that this is not declared at the struct level. Compiler wouldn't know how to constrain the iterator lifetime. Is this code snippet correct? Okay. Exactly, that's what I inferred. For the struct, that's not possible. Got it. Iterator. Yeah, I think impl part is wrong. You can just impl things on struct. I'm just gonna follow this where what was I is okay, this makes sense. And non-flattened chunks. I don't even need to do this. It's already itered. तुमसे नाराज नहीं जिंदगी हैरानों में. Why am I using this? This is so simple. I can just remove that. Envelope data. जीने के लिए. It's not gonna send you envelope data. For now, I can just be a dummy, right? And we're getting envelopes. Yeah, for this thing, I think dash I, where I is, what was I? It's somewhere over here. So 15 divided by what was it? This is the one I'm talking about. Like and it's not D actually, it's C. I'll see it I right here. What is saying the struct? Okay, because I don't have that, I'm gonna resort to something like this. Envelope data is a pillar type tag, which means is it going to talk about tag? No, it can implicitly understand its tag. And then why am I just moving? I think this is a cluttered bit. It's a bit cluttered, and it's saying envelope data. There is no such field as page data, but what we have is chunks. So chunks is extract bytes. Why is it giving me a vector? What I can do is next bytes data push. Think about it for a second. I have this vector and a vector of u8s. So vector of u8 would be the possibility right here, but I just have vector of reference to u8, which means it's part of a chunk itself, and a chunk can be 520 bytes maximum. Okay, when I use push bytes, it can be a maximum of 520 bytes, so I have this multiple chunks. And if I have multiple chunks over a vector, like instead of doing a vector, like returning a vector, what I can do is next byte is essentially returning us next bytes, series of bytes. It's part of instructions itself. So what I can do is iterator over, but what I need is iterator over. Is there a way? I wonder. Just copy this first. Is there a way to return iterator instead of vec cu8 without having some kind of, why is it okay, iter from a function. Okay, this is awesome. Iter from fn. What does it do? Creates a new iterator with mute. Move. Oh, nice. Option T. Wow. ChatGPT is so good, bro. So what I can do is impl iterator, right? And type type is equals to why do I need to do this? I can just use std iter from yafyan, and I need it to be unmute move and next bytes of what instructions. Since it's mutable, I think this should work. And do I need to do something like this? Okay. Item though. I think it's item. Captures lifetime that doesn't appear in bounds. Hidden. Lifetime dash. What was ChatGPT saying anyways? ChatGPT was saying something. Next byte. Okay. Plus you need something like this. Why do I require an anonymous lifetime Devani? Okay. Let me just check if this works or not first, otherwise what's the point, right? And I can just ultimately avoid this too, and I don't need that. What is it saying, Mandahiri? At this point, what I'm doing is I'm extracting bytes and import literature item C plus dash B. Well, this lifetime stuff, right? Our instruction, right? This mutable reference lives as long as dash B, right? Which is managed by the parent itself. So mutable thing lives as long as B lives, and dash C, it's the part of the instruction as long as instructions live, right? The instruction is derived from script, which means as long as script lives, my iterator should live. And what does adding this mean? What does this mean? I need to understand it. What exactly does this mean? I understand the first part, but why am I adding a dash p lifetime parameter? What does it ensure or guarantee? You work with a type that implements a iterator and yields item. Yeah, it yields that. Okay. It has to live as long as that mutable reference. That mutable reference to instructions. Okay. Does this have to do that? No. I need B. Why don't I need a lifetime B भन्दाखेरि the iterator that I get has to live as long as this mutable difference lives. And left is distinct from
के भयो गुली बेच्यो
ठिक छ के अरे अनि बोतल ल्याइदिनु नि त
कुन
बोतल अरे स्कुल ए मसँग क्यालिपर छ क्यालिपर पठाइदिए है
डिजिटल क्यालिपर हो
ल ल ल म पठाइदिएँ
डिजिटल क्यालिपर हो ए कस्तो दामी रहेछ है
पठाइदियो स्केल चाहियो त्यसलाई कला चाहियो अरे क्या पुऱ्याइदियो
यसको चाहिँ मेजरमेन्ट एक्युरेट हुन्छ है
त्यो कति 0.01 मिलिमिटर 0.01 मिलिमिटर
त्यो के अरे यसबाट चाहिँ प्र्याक्टिस गर्नु भयो नि अलिकति एक्युरेट आउँछ होला भ्यालु
सस्तोमा किन्ने हो
कति किन्नु होला
$6 होला धेरै अगाडि किनायो
इन्चमै हुन्छ नि यो
Johnson result lifetime. Iterator doesn't outlive all the body data it internally depends on dash C and dash B in. त्यो ग्यारेन्टी भएन भने के हुन्छ what if the compiler doesn't go for it has to borrow that हैन which completely makes sense and now I extract bytes I'm extracting the bytes batch data why am I naming it batch data I should name it chunks I don't need that के भन्नु भने expected time parameter The type parameters must be constrained to match other types. Makes sense. Extract bytes is not returning that, but it's returning something else. Opaque type bit to an but what I have is this is perfectly valid. IMPL iterator item u8 2 plus dash MPL iterator item and bu8. Can I do that? I don't know. Yes, that I can ensure. Lifetime A outlives B. That's for sure, right? Oh no. This thing is wrong. Still saying no, like how? Why would they like allow this? The conversion is safe and valid when they say got it, but it's not happening. What I can do is passing envelope data. I don't even need this envelope data anymore. Right. I don't need envelope data anyways. I vector of blobs. And I'm gonna mute it anyways. First is payload type tag, and second one is mpl item. What was the item? This leaves as long as C. You wait. I can do something like this, right? And why do I need this? Okay, like no longer am I constrained by anything, right? Means I need a lateral parameter A one here. So the chunks are now there, parsed. Okay. Oh no, this means instructions also have to leave. Yeah, like this is not desirable at all, right? Chunks. There must be some way, right? No, this doesn't happen directly. Just try it out. There is nothing hampering while I try this. Convert chunks. See, I'm just experimenting, right? What? Or can this ensure? That's pretty sunny. These are two different things. That doesn't appear in pounds, Vanessa. Hidden type for impoliterator captures lifetime that doesn't appear in bounds. Sure, for sure. It's good that this captures. No, everything in first principles. What I'm not able to understand here is I'm trying to fix a problem without understanding the underlying structure of the problem itself. So let's get experimentative, right? Let's get experimentative about stuff. How do you want to fix this problem, Lahiri? Doesn't appear in bounds. Okay, this captures lifetime that, this captures that, which means no, I can just fix extract bytes itself. I know. Why am I requiring multiple stuff, right? Like this. This shouldn't be an issue. Why do I require this? Because I'm saying from fn requires. I understand the problem. std from fn, right? This requires an fn mute, which means it needs to capture everything in between there. But I don't want from fn. Isn't there from coroutine? What does it do? Similar to. Okay, what does it do? On pin. From fn std iter. There must be some other things, right? From coroutine. Let's just check what does this do. What is a coroutine? That's right. It's a trait. You pin something, which means this is no longer movable. Rust guarantees that this is not going to move. Yields and requires mute self, which again requires like yeah, from coroutine also requires there. Let's go to ChatGPT itself, I need something like std iter from fn, but without with shouldn't require you to capture the variables. The variables into closer with move. What is it? Costume iterator struct. What? Yeah, that might be a solution. Std iter let's go to iter again and let's look at all this. Struct, okay. Type item, there is this next. Okay, iter mute requires mute, and into iter requires t dash t and t. This is actually understandable. There's this counter which counts from 1 to 5. Add it. There's nothing of importance here. Laziness, infinity, traits. And then I am arguments of iterator and change them. Do I want that? Experimental ones with okay. I don't know one-to-ones. U16. Okay, you start with 1. Okay, successors is not what I want. The thing is, I want it from FNA, but I require this thing to move. Instructions. Empty गरेर. So I start with empty, right? And it's zipping. I don't know about chaining. Once with let's ask tangibility. But that defeats the purpose itself, I know. You having an iterator and you doing it one by one, going through it one by one, and without moving you cannot do it. When you do you understand it? Without moving you cannot do anything, because this is lazy by design. You are not making it available by design, which means if you want to pass in instructions, then instructions dot what does inspect do? Intersparse, I don't want that. ID. Scan. Oh wow. What does fold do? Fold is what we require. Reduce कर जस्ते हो. Flatten instructions. To bytes. Maybe the primitive that I'm working on, you know. What I can do भन्दाखेरि instead of just OBS मा गएर I think I can stop streaming now. I'm feeling अलिकति under the weather today.